Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel MBG Motivational World. Success story of India's greatest scientist Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. A Bharat Ratna, Padma Bhushan awardee, educationist, author, visionary, philanthropist and one of the greatest scientists India has ever produced. APJ Kalam's legacy speaks for itself. Apart from being India's eminent scientist, Dr. Kalam was also known for his utmost simplicity and humanity. Moreover, his qualities like kindness and empathy make Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam a true gentleman. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has always been known for his knowledge and kindness. An aerospace scientist who also served as the 11th President of India and was widely regarded as the People's President, he contributed immensely to the development of the country, both as a scientist and as a president. Today we are sharing a motivational story of our beloved President and Missile Man of India, the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the man who taught us to be human first. Missile Man of India. Hailed as an Indian scientist, former President of India, Abul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born on October 15, 1931, in Rameswaram into a Tamil Muslim family in Tamil Nadu. Kalam came from a very simple family background where his father was the owner of a boat building business and his mother was a housewife who took care of him. Dr. Kalam's father's boat building business gave him exposure to metal and wood. That's why Dr. Kalam was interested in engineering. This motivated him to take up the interesting field of airspace and rockets professionally and work as an Indian aerospace scientist. Sold newspapers to support family. In his childhood, Dr. Kalam witnessed their boat business being washed away after a cyclone struck the Bay of Bengal. After that, his family business totally collapsed, and his father remained calm and continued to work hard to rebuild the business. A young Abdul Kalam, in order to pitch in financially, started selling newspapers in the morning before diligently reporting to his school. Kalam must have been under 10 years of age, but even at that age, he believed in solving problems instead of letting them delay his growth. They may not have been well off financially, but Dr. Kalam's family always encouraged him to study. By the time it was time to go to college, he enrolled himself to study physics at St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, the turning point in Dr. APJ Kalam's life. In 1955, a scholarship to study aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology changed his life, in turn preparing him to change the way India looked at its defense. A hard-hitting example of how motivated Dr. Kalam was is clear from an incident that occurred while he was working on a senior project at Madras Institute of Technology. Dr. Kalam's first lesson. The headmaster at the time didn't like the way his work was progressing and eventually told him that his scholarship would be cancelled if the project wasn't completed within the next 3 days. Losing his scholarship wasn't something he could afford, and even though the deadline was so tight, he managed to not only present his project but also impress the headmaster. The headmaster told him, "I was putting you under stress and asking you to meet a difficult deadline." This made him more confident. Dream to be an Air Force pilot. APJ Abdul Kalam's dream of being an Air Force pilot was lost by one rank. Dr. Kalam learned to accept failure, move on, and have faith in the large plan of the Almighty in destiny. Later, he joined the Ministry of Defense. He was scientific advisor to the Defense Minister and Secretary of DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, from July 1992 to December 1999. Twist and turn in Abdul Kalam's life. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's first major project at ISRO was the SLV-3 Satellite Launch Vehicle 3, which failed in 1979 when it was launched for the first time. He gave a motivational speech after this incident in which he talked about the role of a team leader and how to handle success and failure. Kalam said when failure occurred, the leader of the organization owned that failure. When success came, he gave it to his team. The best management lesson I have learned did not come to me from reading a book. It came from that experience. Missile Man of India. A year later in 1980, he relaunched the SLV-3 successfully. Thereafter, he launched various missiles and became the Missile Man of India. His talent and hard work eventually led him to even work under the guidance of Vikram Sarabhai. After DRDO, he was transferred to ISRO, where he was the project manager for India's first satellite launch vehicle and managed to deploy the Rohini satellite into near-Earth orbit. After his achievements, he became the head of the IN missile program of India. Dr. Abdul Kalam's natural problem-solving ability, in-depth scientific understanding, and knack for innovation made him take the project responsibility head-on. Thanks to his efforts, India developed missiles like Agni, a ballistic missile, and a Prithvi, a surface-to-surface missile, to name a few. Abdul Kalam's role in India's nuclear program. After India's first nuclear test was carried out on May 18, 1974 in Rajasthan's Pokhran, no nuclear tests took place till 1998. And then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the scientific advisor to the Defence Minister Dr. Abul Fakir Jainullahdin Abdul Kalam decided that it was time for the country to announce its nuclear status with a huge bang. At the Pokhran 2 nuclear tests, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had served as the chief project coordinator along with Rajagopala Chidambaram. And this was the crucial moment in India's nuclear weapons development that brought Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam the much-deserved applause. APJ Abdul Kalam, People's President. It was 2002 when Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam became the President of India. Dr. Kalam managed to do this not because of fancy degrees or an illustrious political career, but through hard work and a desire to be something. It wasn't just his scientific achievements, but also his simplicity and warm smile that often made the media refer to him as the People's President. His love for knowledge made him take up visiting professor roles at various renowned universities after his tenure was over. On July 27, 2015, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam traveled to Shillong to give a lecture, but only 5 minutes into it, he collapsed, and by the time he reached the hospital, he had already passed away due to cardiac arrest. Dr. Kalam motivates the different generations with his simplicity and hard-working qualities. He once said, "A dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep." List of awards received by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. 1981 Padma Bhushan, 1990 Padma Vibhushan, 1994 Bharat Ratna, 1997 Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration, 1998 Veer Savarkar Award, 2000 Ramanujan Prize. From selling newspapers to becoming the President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam undertook a long journey, but what made him reach his destination was the fact that he never let his spirit down. He didn't give up on the dreams of that little boy who studied under kerosene lamps and kept working towards his goals. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's journey is an inspiration for all of us, and he will live forever in our hearts. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and support